Hello everyone, welcome to the first Break 60 challenge on the channel. Today we're playing PGA National. It's about 6,700 yards. It's par 72, so we're going to have to shoot 13 under. Here's Nemo. He hit his first shot. Great, right down the middle. We kind of had been talking about this. We don't know why he went first because he hits at about 40 yards, 50 yards longer than I do. But we couldn't switch the order at this point. So really I'm just here to just try to hit a dead straight one and get ready for the round in case he ever hits one OB. I hit this one a little bit right. Overall, not terrible. I still think it went like 250, 260, so I'm okay with that. We ended up taking his, obviously, and we had a nice little shot in. Here he goes with his second shot. Almost holes out here, and you can see we were going insane. We were like, what's the odds that we'd hole out here right as we pull out the camera. Here's my second shot. Really, all I had to do here was make it, and I just went way over. And just to kind of put this out there, we do have a 10-foot auto putt, so if we're within 10 feet, it's a gimme, I guess I should say. Here is our second hole. Here's Nemo's tee shot. Once again, another laser right down the fairway. And he usually carries this as like 290. He was also hitting 300 later into the round, so it really helped us. Once again, I don't hit it that far, but I hit a dead straight bullet to the center of the fairway. So that's good confidence, just once again, in case he ever hits one OB. Here was his second shot. He hit a nice one, just a little bit of a fade on it, and it came up just a little bit short, so I kind of had to hit a good shot here. My irons were feeling good today. Here was my second shot. A little bit of a fade, wasn't terrible. And then I believe this one spun back. We thought it was going to spin into the hole. My pitching wedge had really been spinning today, and it did, but stayed a little bit short, but I think we were within that 10-foot. No, we were not. Here was my putt for birdie here, and actually I think I ended up sinking this one. So that would put us at 2 under through 2 holes. So we're off to a hot start here. Here's Nemo's third shot, his first shot on the third hole. Another laser, and this was really kind of the theme for the day. Nemo was just hitting dead straight bullets, and it really freed me up, just kind of swing. Not that I was going to swing any farther, but I really didn't have any pressure on the tee box at all, which was nice. Once again, looking back, we probably should have switched the order. That's what we're probably going to do in our next episode of Break 60. Here was mine, a little bit right in the rough. We took Nemo's, obviously, because he's obviously 40, 50 yards farther than me, so it makes sense. He had a great shot here, just a little bit right, but we're in a safe spot, and I was going to go for the green here because we both believed we could get up and down from there, so I was going to be a little bit aggressive here. Took my 4 hybrid, I think it was from 207 or something like that, and I hit it a little long. I think this one ended up going 220, which is fine. We took my shot. Here's my chip. And it rolled out quite nicely. Nemo's going to try to make this one. Here's his third shot. Once again, this is a par 5, so we were really looking for an eagle here. A chip in would have been really nice. Good momentum for us. And we ended up getting within that 10-foot range, so we ended up birdieing that. So we're 3 under through 3 holes. Here is hole 4. Nemo hit a perfect drive once again. That's kind of the theme of today. He was just, his driver was on. I hit another dead straight bullet. Once again, though, didn't go that far. Did not carry the sand, or else that would have been really good. Took Nemo's shot, obviously, farther, dead straight. Here is his second shot here, a little long, and this green was really quick today. Here was my second shot. I hit this one pretty nice. It was just a little bit right. So we ended up getting within that 10-foot range, so we were 4 under through 4 holes. Here's a 157-yard par 3. This was kind of the hardest part of the challenge we had kind of thought about beforehand, is birdieing the par 3s. That's going to be, once again, it's the biggest challenge for us. 157, I think I had an 8-iron in hand. I think Nemo had a 9-iron in hand. I hit this one a little right, not the best shot whatsoever, but I think we had a putt here for birdie. Here's Nemo's putt. Almost made it. Here's my putt. Really had to put this one in to kind of keep the momentum here. 4 or 5 under. and I hit it dead straight. Drilled that one. Once again, momentum's just rolling right now. We need to be 13 under. We're 5 under through 5 holes. Obviously, as you guys know, it can only go down from there, and I won't say too much. That was Nemo's drive on hole 6. Just stayed out of the bunker. We're in the rough there. Was going to see if I could put one out in the fairway. I hit a nice one. Not as far as his, and it was in the rough as well, so didn't really get any rollout. Here is Nemo's second shot. We took his ball. Also, I kind of want to mention, when you see the Bryson videos, he does it from the red tees. Obviously, we're on the simulator, so it's easier. So we're playing from the blues here in our challenges. But regardless of that, here was my second shot. A little bit to the right. We ended up taking mine. Here was my chip. A little long. And not the best look for our birdie putt. Going to see if Nemo can put one closer. Overall, a solid shot. And that would put us to 6 under through 6 holes. Here was hole number 7, a long par 3, 192 yards. He hit his a little bit short, but obviously it's in a good spot. I think I had a 5-iron here. Just going to try to put one close, and I hit this one way too far right, and that's what I've been doing with my long irons. I had been kind of, I guess, power fade, if you will. Not really the best look there for us. Here's Nemo's second shot. We ended up taking his ball, I believe. His chip was not terrible, and it's also kind of hard for me to see the screen right now to kind of say what happened. Here's my second shot. And that would that'd put us 6 under through 8 holes. We ended up getting in the gimme range for a par there. This hole, I believe Nemo hit an iron here. If he would have hit driver, it would have been in the water because obviously he hits at 300. And so he was going to get us out and play, and I was going to try to get it as close to the water as I could. So I tried to take a little bit off here, and I did a pretty good job at that. And I think we were about 20 yards short of the water, which sets us up in a great spot for our second shot here. It was one of those holes you kind of had to play smart because you weren't getting over the water, so you just had to bite your bullet there. Here's my second shot, a little bit to the left. Not the best shot. Nemo's second shot. Pretty good shot, just a little bit short and to the right. We're going to have a little bit of work here for our birdie. Here's my putt for birdie. Very long putt. Pretty close. Didn't go in, though. Here's Nemo's putt for birdie, and he just, I don't know what happened there. Here's hole 9. Once again, 6 under through 9 holes. Kind of slowed down a little bit. This is the first fairway he missed and hit it in the water, so it was a little bit of pressure on me, and I took it way far right. I wasn't really planning on doing that, but it just happened. But my excuse was that I didn't want to go in the water, so I got away with that one. We ended up taking mine, obviously. Here was my second shot. Overall, a pretty good shot. Landed center of the green, just a little bit right of the flag. I'll take that any day of the week. Here was Nemo's second shot on the par 4. He hit a pretty good shot. Once again, pretty similar to mine, just a little bit farther, a little bit longer, I guess. Here was my putt for birdie here. Now I just missed that one. Here's Nemo's putt. And he almost made it, just a little bit to the right. So that'll put us still 6 under through 10 holes. Nemo hit a little bit of a pull, a little bit of a draw, whatever you want to call that. He was safe. We didn't have out of bounds on, which is obviously clutch. I hit one pretty good, but I think we were going to have tree trouble with mine, I believe, if I recall this correctly. So we ended up taking Nemo's because we kind of had a little bit of a straight gap there that we could really hit to the green. He hit his a little bit chunky and a little bit to the right, not the best shot, but I was going to go for it here because we were safe. Hit this one pretty good overall. and that put us on the green. I forget how far out we were, but that's my 5 wood, so probably like 230. Here was my putt. We ended up once again taking mine. I don't know how the heck did it hit a 60-foot putt on the simulator. So obviously that one went way over. Here's Nemo's putt. A lot better speed on this. He almost put that one in. But that would give us a another putt for our birdie here. He hit his a little bit to the right. This is kind of a big putt. We needed to get back on the birdie train to keep our round alive. Once again, we had to go 13 under. And I unfortunately hit this one. Same line that he did. So that would keep us 6 under through 10 holes. Here was Nemo's drive on hole 11. Pretty close to the water, flirting with the water, but he ended up getting a cart path bounce. And that would keep us in a good spot for our second shot. I was just going to try to get us in the fairway, get us a little bit closer. I hit a pretty good shot overall, a little bit of a fade. And we thought it was going to go in the water, and it actually stayed because of the rough. So overall, we had 2 different looks here. We ended up taking Nemo's. It was a little bit closer, obviously, with the cart path bounce. Here was his second shot. He almost hit it in the water, but we stayed up. So that really gave me a good look to kind of go at this here. Second shot, I hit this a little bit short. But it worked out overall. Spun back though. We ended up taking my shot. Here was my putt for birdie. Just an awful putt. Quite literally awful. I didn't really give him anything to work with there. Here's his putt. A little bit to the left. And so once again, the par train sticks around. 6 under through 11 holes. Here his drive on the par 4. This was 390 yards. He hit a bullet perfectly in the fairway. Really, you couldn't have drawn that up any better. And so really, once again, I wish there was a skip button because I don't need to hit here because I'm not getting any farther than he did. But I went ahead and hit mine as well. Another perfect drive. Obviously, didn't go as far as his, but really, you couldn't have drawn that up any better as well. So good confidence for us. Going into our second shot here on the 390 par 4, he hit his pretty good overall. Just a little bit right, and I don't think it was within the 10-foot range, so I was trying to get one as close as I could. And I thought this one was going to spin more than it did, and it just did not. So I guess Nemo must have been inside 10 feet, so that one put us 7 under through 12. So here was his drive. Not the best, but not terrible. Here was my drive. Not great at all. I ended up going into the wood chips, so we ended up taking Nemo's, obviously. He hit a pretty good second shot. We thought I was going to keep going. I don't know if that was within the 10 feet or not, but here's my second shot. Just awful. I mean, terrible. Awful. So I guess Nemo was not inside 10 feet, so here's his putt for birdie here. Thank the Lord he put that one in, and that put us 8 under through 13, getting us back on the momentum, getting us back on the birdie train. We need 5 more birdies to break 60 here, 4 more birdies to tie 60. He hit an overall okay drive. Here was my drive, a little bit left, a little bit of a draw, not really kind of what I was drawing up there, but it's fine, it's safe. We had 2 different looks. We ended up taking Nemo's. He hit a little bit of a layup. I think he might have chunked that. I don't remember if he was trying to lay up or not. Here was my shot. A little bit to the left, but pretty good distance overall. It ended up spinning back a little bit. We ended up taking mine. Here was our birdie putt. I was just inside of the left, and we had talked about it earlier. If we wanted to miss with a little bit of a dying pace, we wanted to miss on the right, and we both missed on the left. So it's kind of on us with our lines there, but we ended up parring that. So we're 8 under through 14 holes. We're at a 150-yard par 3. Nemo hit a decent shot out to the left of the green, stayed out of the sand. I hit one left. I don't know why I kept pulling my irons towards the end of this round, but I did. And so that's just pretty awful for me. We ended up taking Nemo's shot. And it just was hard to stop this. You really had to hit it high because the green was just running away from you. And I did basically the same thing. Just not a great shot from both of us. We had this putt for par here. He hit a great-looking putt it just went to the right edge of the hole, and it didn't give it to us. Here's my putt. Thankfully, we saved for a par here. Worst thing you can do here is bogey, especially when you're close here. I think he skied this drive, really the only bad drive he had hit of the day. And he had been smoking the driver before. We played a round before, and he ended up shooting, I think it was a 4-under on the simulator. So he was dialed today with his driver. Here's my drive. Thankfully, I hit a good one out to the center of the fairway. So that's kind of, I guess that was our safety net for the day. He could really go after it. Once again, it would have been helpful, though, if I would have been first in the order here. We ended up taking my drive, and I was short. Not what you want to see here. Kind of put a lot of pressure on Nemo here to hit his second shot. Thankfully, he was on the green. It's a long putt, but it's better than us having to take a drop in the water. Here's his putt. I can't really see what's happening on the screen right now, so I'm going to try to act like I know what's going on. Looks like it almost went close. Maybe a little bit long, I suppose. Here's my putt for birdie. We kind of needed this one to go in. We really didn't have much of a shot anyways. At this point, we really had to eagle the next 2 holes, I think. I don't really know what the math is on that. But yeah, so we really had to put that one in. Just did not do it. Missed the line there. So we're 8 under through 16 holes. Here was a 150-yard par 3. Not what you like to see. He's in the water there, so I just could not hit it in the water, and guess what I did? Guess what I freaking did? I hit it right in the water. So just not what you want to see on a scramble here. We had like 100 yards in, I think. I hit a decent shot out to the center of the fairway, spun back a lot. Kind of did not help us out at all. Here was Nemo's third shot. Once again, third shot because we had the drop. He hit his back in the water. We were kind of falling apart towards the end here. Actually, the back 9, we just completely fell apart. I hit a pretty good putt. It was a little bit to the right, I think, which is unfortunate for our bogey. Nemo almost made his as well. We ended up doubling on the simulator in a scramble, so that's just a little unfortunate for us. So now we're 6 under through 17 holes. Here's our final hole of the day. He hit a pretty decent one out into the fairway. Here's my shot. Pretty decent shot as well. It ended up getting stuck in all of this, whatever that is, the bushes. Here's Nemo's second shot. He was laying up. Ended up putting us in a great spot. I was going to go after it here with my 4 hybrid, I believe. It's probably, 220, 210. I can't really see. I hit a laser, just a little bit long, unfortunately, and ended up going in the water. So we had to play from Nemo's. But at this point, we kind of accepted that we weren't shooting under 60. I don't know what that fall through was. That was pretty gnarly. But he hit a dart at the hole, though. Here's mine. Here's my third shot for eagle. Pretty good shot as well, just a little bit to the right. Spun back quite a lot. And we ended up having a putt for our birdie here. Here's Nemo's putt for it. Just left it a little bit to the right. Once again, we were falling apart towards this part of the video. Here's my putt for eagle. We thought this one had a chance to go in, and it was just out to the right. So we ended up shooting a 66, 6 under. Not terrible, but definitely a lot to work on in our next video. So comment what course we should try next. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.